Hey there, this is Natalie, and in this video we're going to talk about the right fit. So the right fit is a general term, we use it, but what exactly does it mean? So the right fit in a job, for example. In this video, I'll talk about 3 key indicators that I use to determine fit, plus 3 tips that you can use to tell if a company is the right fit for you or not before you get hired. So stay tuned. So what does the right fit mean in a job? So here are 3 indicators that I use to determine fit. Some will be more important to you than others, and that's okay. So the first one is the 80-20 rule. So if you're in the right place, you like the work that you're doing. Maybe not every minute of every day, but you enjoy at least 80% of the time what you're doing. The other 20% isn't necessarily your favorite time spent, but you're definitely capable of doing it and you know it's necessary and it's part of the job and you understand it. So for example, for salespeople, I often hear that part of their 20% might be filling out their expense reports, which they hate doing, but their 80% might be traveling, speaking to prospects, and closing deals. And that 80% is totally worth the 20% of the work that they don't like. So that's just an example. 2, your boss. So this one's super important for me, might not be for you, it depends. So ideally, you'll have a good relationship with your boss, along with the support that you need from him or her. For me, a solid relationship with my boss has been the key to a good fit, and this has overridden some of the other factors. So if I had a boss that was moody or unpredictable, I would not be a good fit for that role. I'd be stressed out, I'd always have my guard up, I'd always be wondering what the mood she was going to be in that day. I wouldn't be able to focus on doing my best work. Some of the other factors I talk about here might be more or less important. It just depends on your personality and your work style. So I'm affected a lot by other people's emotions. Maybe you're not. So that's just an example too. Number 3. So do you have what it takes to do this job? Like, can you do it? So are you able to get this job done? Not that you have to know everything all the time or the first time. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that, do you have the general skills, ability, and knowledge? Can you really ask for help in pushing past roadblocks? Can you talk to your boss, ask your coworkers, and generally complete tasks without feeling like you want to melt down and cry from feeling overwhelmed or lost? So if you're feeling like you're able to push through and get things done in a healthy way, then you are good. Now, great, you understand a bit more about what fit means. But how can you tell if a company is going to be a good fit for you before you start? So here's a couple things to look for that will help. The first thing is, what questions do they ask in the interview? So when I was younger, I'll share a quick story here. I applied to be in the Canadian military. I went in and I took the computerized assessment test. I passed, and then I had an in-person interview with an officer. He asked me the following question. Tell me about a time you had to do a mundane task that you didn't enjoy that took up most of your day. How did you handle that? So that is an example of a question that is telling you something. So at that moment, I could tell that I wasn't going to like it if that's what I was going to be doing most days. When they ask you a question, keep in mind that there's probably a reason why they're asking, and it could relate specifically to something on the job. So pay attention to the questions they ask and ask yourself, why are they asking that? 2, what questions can you ask them to determine fit? So there are some questions that you don't want to ask until you've got the job offer in hand, and those questions are like benefits or discussing salary or stuff like that. But here are some examples of questions that you do want to ask that will help you determine whether or not this is the right place for you. So this is a good one. In the next year, What are the biggest challenges that I would be taking on if I were hired? That answer will tell you a lot. Second question, how does your department communicate? And how do the other departments communicate with you? Third, how does senior leadership communicate with the organization? So the answers to these questions will tell you a lot about their culture. So the third thing, how do you feel about the interview experience and about the opportunity? After you've interviewed, what does your gut tell you? This is one that I've ignored and I've kicked myself for afterwards. Are there any feelings or red flags that you're sensing? Pay attention to them and actively look out. If something doesn't feel right, chances are it probably isn't. Use the questions in the cheat sheet that you can download below to guide you to find out more about whether or not the job is going to be the right fit. So if the organization is transparent in answering your questions, that's a great sign. So if you've ever ended up in a bad job before or a bad fit for you, that's probably motivation enough to never want it to happen again. So to wrap up this video, I want to leave you with a few keys to simply keep in mind when you're interviewing and really be focused on finding the right fit, because it's worth it in the end. So here they are. Be mindful. Just be mindful of whether or not you're the right fit. Don't be so focused on getting the job that you're not paying attention to these things. Watch for signs. Do your research and ask the questions that you need to ask. You don't have to accept a job offer until you've gotten a good feel for the culture and you've got your questions answered. So get the information that you need to make the right decision for you. If you found this video valuable and you'd like to learn more, as I mentioned, I have a cheat sheet for you and you can click the link below to download it. This cheat sheet has 35 questions that you can choose from that'll help you get the job, and other candidates won't even think to ask these. So you'll definitely be ahead of the game. Plus, you'll easily be able to figure out if you're the right fit for the position by choosing from this list of questions to ask. So simply click on the link below to grab that now, and it will be sent right over to your email inbox. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the other side. Bye. Okay. I'm kind of tired today. Just need to get a good sleep.